بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين، أما بعد. أهلا بكم مجددا أعزائي الطلبة والطالبات في فيديو جديد. الفيديو هذه المرة يتضمن درس من دروس الأدب الأمريكي لطلبة السنة الأولى ماستر تخصص أدب وحضارة بقسم اللغة الإنجليزية بكلية اللغات الأجنبية بجامعة الشهيدة حسيبة بن بوعلي بشلك. Hello back dear students. In this video we'll be dealing and we'll be studying one lecture of the American literature courses. The course or the lecture is entitled A General Overview about Modernism. So let's do it. Always teacher in charge, Dr. Wafa, BERKAT. American literature module devoted for master one student, the option of literature and civilization. Modernism in literature worked a lot under Ezra Pound's motto and logo, make it new. Lecture's outline goes as follows. Introduction: what is modernism, aspect of modernism, thematic features, former features, the last generation, stream of consciousness, and interior monologue. Modernism in literature. So to introduce, broadly speaking, modernism might be said to have been characterized by a deliberate and often a radical shift away from tradition, and consequently by the use of new and innovative forms of expression. Thus, many styles in art and literature from the late of the 19th century and early of the 20th centuries are markedly different from those that preceded them. The term modernism generally covers the creative output of artists and thinkers who saw traditional approaches to the arts and architecture, literature, religion, social organization, and even life itself had become outdated in light of the new economic, social, and political circumstances of a by now fully industrialized society. What is modernism? Modernism is a literary and cultural international movement which flourished in the first 4 decades of the 20th century. It reflects a sense of cultural crisis which was both exciting and disquieting, in that it opened up a whole new vista of the human possibilities at the same time as putting into question any previously accepted means of grounding and evaluating new ideas. Modernism is marked by experimentation, particularly manipulation of form, and by the realization that knowledge is not absolute. Aspect of modernism. Features of modernism at the level of themes. Thematic features of modernism are as follows. Intentional distortion of shape, focus on form rather than meaning. Number 3, breakdown of social norms and cultural value. Number 4, dislocation of meaning and sense from its normal context. Number 5, need to reflect the complexity of modern urban life. Number 6, the importance of the unconscious mind, interest in the primitive and non-Western cultures. Number 8, impossibility of an absolute interpretation of reality. Number 9, overwhelming technological changes. Formal features of modernism are in fact the following: experimental nature, the lack of traditional chronological narrative, continuous narrative moving from one level of a narrative to another, a number of different narrators, multiple narratives, points of view, self-reflexive about the act of writing and the nature of literature, meta-narrative, use of interior monologue technique, the use of stream consciousness technique. Now, we move to modernism, new techniques in literature, mainly and particularly stream of consciousness and the interior monologue. Let's explain them in deep. Stream of consciousness aims to provide a textual equivalent to the stream of a fictional character's consciousness, creates the impression that the reader is eavesdropping on the flow of conscious experience in the character's mind, comes in a variety of stylistic forms. Narrated stream of consciousness often composed of different sentence types, including free indirect style, characterized by associative and, at times, dissociative reliefs in syntax and punctuation. Interior monologue is a particular kind of stream of consciousness writing, also called the created stream of consciousness. Present characters' thought streams exclusively in the form of silent inner speech as a stream of verbalized thoughts. Represent characters speak silently to themselves and quote their inner speech, often without speech marks. Is presented in the first person and in the present tense and employs didactic words. Also attempt to mimic the unstructured free flow of thought. Can be found in the context of third person narration and dialogue. The Last Generation. The Last Generation is a term used to describe a group of American writers who were rebelling against what the United States of America, the USA, had become after the 90s. The phrase was first coined by Gertrude Stein and made popular by Ernest Hemingway's novel The Sun Also Rises. Here are one of the famous American authors and writers of the American literature. These ones are Ernest Hemingway, Gertrude Stein, T.S. Eliot. Here is the end of chapter 1. Now, let us move to the selected literary works, which are The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway and The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. So, what has been done so far, or what has been seen so far, is only a theoretical ground to build up the practical side, which are the analysis of a novel and the analysis of a poem by T.S. Eliot. These aspects and characteristics of modernism at the level of themes and at the level of forms, and even at the level of literature and the new adaptive techniques into modern literature, are and can be found in the two selected literary works. Here is the end of chapter 1, which is a general overview about modernism. Now, dear student, let's move to chapter 1, which is the practical side. Thank you so much for your attention. Good luck. Best regards from the behalf of your teacher, Dr. Wafa BERKAT.